Hello. Hello. Happy week 4, everyone. I hope you are all enjoying this week. It's a very interesting week, isn't it? After doing the 3 weeks of a lot more detoxing, now it's time to really integrate into more like a lifestyle program. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys feel a lot better. Your skin is glowing more. You're feeling more radiant, more connected to your body, to your body's amazing messages and everything from the last few weeks. So welcome to week 4. And this week, as you guys know, is all about the waist. We call it waist shrinking because the side effect is when we create the space between the ribs and the hips, we build the musculature in that area. We are able to feel more of that hourglass start showing up. When we start to stand up straighter and breathe deeper and our posture starts to align better, we naturally go into more of that posture too. So the shrinking of the waist is, of course, aesthetic, because that is sort of, the hourglass is like one of those things that, they say that we're attracted to as humans, like just, I guess, biologically. So obviously it's aesthetically pleasing, but it's also functionally better as well. So it's helping to improve digestion, also opening up the diaphragm area, activating the core, decompressing the joints of your spine, and all of those amazing things. So this week, obviously, we're creating more space between those hips and ribs, and we're realigning and reshaping the sides of our body. I always like to read this little just paragraph just to really hone it in, and also to give you that that imprinting to put in your body when you're doing the session this week, when you're doing it, whether it's 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times this week. But beyond just realigning and reshaping the sides of our body, we're reducing tension in the upper body. And the workout is a physical representation of how we can emotionally expand, meaning reach out, right? So creating that space in the side body just gives us more of the ability to reach out and reach out to help others, also reach out to ask for help, and all of those all of those things. So that's a very important piece of this work and this program, and this aligned way of living is all about, creating those, or bringing in those emotional aspects and the emotional components of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And you guys know how much I believe in the why and explaining the why, because then you're more inspired to actually do it. And the results will be more, you'll see them more and you'll feel them more when you know the why. So that's really important to me. It's one of my missions for sure, is to help you guys understand the why. So we'll be working on creating a more uplifted and grounded self, whether that's a physical self or an emotional self or even a mental or spiritual self. So that way we can expand more into what we're wanting to kind of go toward on our path with our gifts. So the sequence enhances the ability to reach the sides of the body out to expand, which helps create better balance in our core, waist, and hips. And to get there, we'll focus on the fascia and muscle tone all the way from the knee up to the ear. I love this. Thanks to our old friend gravity, many of us experience an all too familiar pattern of our ribs collapsing down into our hips. This results in unhealthy and uncomfortable posture, which squishes our organs and makes the waistline wider. And kind of just makes us feel like squished and quite we feel discomfort in our joints and our spine. But this week's workout will rectify this, so your body starts to feel like it can expand and stand even taller. So with that said, that's the little introduction. And I'm going to dive into some of the questions here. And then feel free, anyone on my team, if questions come up, you can send me a text through and I will get to them, because I'm able to. This is the best way, as I go live on the computer, and then I have my phone with all my notes that I wanted to share. So hopefully you guys felt a little more connection to your core after this session, the first time you did it. Okay, so one of the first questions we got is it too late to join the challenge or should I wait until another challenge? So I would say, you can start, that's the beauty of TSY now inside the studio, is you can start anytime it works into your schedule. I love that quote though. I was thinking about this. It's like, there's never a right time. There's only time and what we choose to do with our time. So I love that because there's just never a right time to start a program or a cleanse. And the beauty of this program is it is more lifestyle oriented. But what I would say is it too late to join the challenge? You're more than welcome to join us in the challenge, but make sure that you do all the weeks sequentially because it's been designed for that. So we're working different areas of the body. We're clearing out certain areas. We're building strength in areas as well. We're reducing like the overcompensation of use of certain areas. We're improving the biomechanics in the body and the neuromuscular connections as we go through this week by week. So, but what I would say is you can join the challenge, but make sure, because we're on the beginning of week 4, you'll have to do the weeks. The meal plan would have to start. Well, yeah, you need to do, actually, it's hard to say if you should join this challenge because really you can start anytime and you can, but you can join us for the lives and ask questions. And you can also go back and watch all the live videos that we've done up until now. So we're doing fresh crop of videos to go in to kind of be in there for you guys for resources. So definitely start at the beginning if you're joining. You can always join our lives and, get the FaceTime and be able to ask, live questions. But make sure you just do week 1 through 3, and you want to make sure you do the 21-day meal plan because that's a really big piece of it. As we know, it's the 4 pillars: move, nourish, cleanse, and connect. So we need to be doing all of those, in the time period that's allotted. And that's why we do it over the 10 weeks, because it's really about reprogramming and creating a new kind of awareness and a new kind of way of living, breathing, being, and even like the choices that we make with our time too. So that's really a good question, but also start from the beginning. All right. So is there a modification for the week 3 rolling lunge? I feel like this comes up every time we do a challenge, or it's just one of the most common questions. So the rolling lunge obviously takes a lot of proprioception. So that's the brain body connection and in knowing where you are in gravity. So that's also like when you're doing stuff on the rebounder, that's building that as well. When you're doing any standing balancing work, which we have quite a bit of that in the studio, you can stand on a pillow or one of those squishy mats. I think they're called like an RX pad, or those little squishy things that you see at Pilates or physical therapy. Or a Bosu ball to improve that proprioception. Because if the rolling lunge is a challenge, it's actually a sign that we need to, activate again and kind of reactivate that ability to find balance and proprioception in the body. Because it's a thing that we should be able to do, and it's something that we lose as we age. So for the rolling lunge, until you're ready to be, hands-free, you can use a chair and kind of hold onto a chair. Or you could use like your kitchen counter and hold on to the edge of a kitchen counter, or a desk, something that's quite stable, and just use that to kind of give yourself a little more balance until you're ready. And as you get better, you will be able to do it without any assistance. But I totally get it. In the beginning, that definitely is an issue, and it comes up quite a bit. But it is quite common, and it is easily adjusted and reactivated. So I love it, actually looking at it as really a sign and a message that your body needs something more. Okay. So using your hands to help support. Okay. So, this was an interesting question. Any expert advice? Since starting, I have gone from very intense athlete-like workouts to rolling and rebounding. I love the new graceful approach, but I truly have not lost a pound and have actually gained weight. Inches have stayed the same except for an increase in my waist. Previously to TSY, I already ate the way that the meal plan suggests, very clean, and have continued to eat this way. I'm trying not to get discouraged. What can I do? Okay. So obviously this program is to help you kind of reprogram and create new, sort of new ways of doing things. So whenever this rarely happens to people in our course, it does happen every once in a while, and it's probably has to do with the nervous system and being in a state of fight or flight. So it could have to do with excess stress, not sleeping enough. It can be also a hormone issue, hormone imbalance. But what I would say is, if you want to include some more of your workouts that are more intense, maybe it's more weight bearing. But the idea is to rebalance the nervous system. And sometimes in that rebalance, we end up maybe gaining a little bit more, and then we shed and lose. So I guess my other, expert advice would be, are you rebounding? Are you doing the sauna? Are you going to sleep early enough at night? Have you had your hormones checked out? Have you had acupuncture to help rebalance the nervous system? You could also try cranial sacral therapy, because your body might just be a little bit stuck. And sometimes we need that little reboot to be able to purge whatever we're holding on to. Or, like I said earlier, if you wanted to add in some more of your weightlifting, weight bearing things, that's totally fine. You know your body best. Remember, this is very intuitive, helping you tune in and reconnect to, what your body needs. But typically, as we start working with our connective tissue and start shedding the layers of that tension, thickness, stress, then our metabolism actually reboots. We start breathing deeper. So there's a lot of different things, and we can go a little deeper into that, and I can send you some more messages and some more resources as well. But no, I'm very grateful that you've shared your experience, and that so that we can kind of figure out what would help you and people in your situation and get the most results and be able to break through some of those barriers as well. So there's usually a reason behind it all. And, like I said, the nervous system, the endocrine system, which is, basically our hormonal system, those are really usually the real issues if the weight is not falling off. With the programs that we've given you and all of the systems, and make sure that you're doing the detox flush. You might even want to find a sauna so that you can really use the sauna for the, releasing the inflammation and also fat burning and things like that. So, but yeah, thank you for sharing your story, and we're excited to help in any way that we can. And I will send you some more resources as well. Okay, here's a good question. Can we talk shoes? As we work to strengthen and balance our bodies, particularly our feet, what should we look for in a good pair of shoes, both athletic and sandals? I have flat feet and am prone to plantar fasciitis. Would love your thoughts. Okay, I love this question. So the shoe thing is super interesting, especially as we start to rebalance, restructure, and reactivate our muscles of our feet. So like you guys have heard me say this before, we have 26 joints in the feet. We need to mobilize those joints. We need to create the space and also create more of that dynamic flexibility. And like I've said before, but like the feet are the hydraulics of the body, right? They give you the suspension of the body. So if our feet are not functioning at their highest capacity, then we end up having all of these imbalances above. So whenever there's something going on, dysfunction in a joint below, the joint then above it is going to have an issue as well. So it's all connected. As you guys know, we're all one big link. Or I guess we're all joined together with many links. But basically, the shoe thing, I love this question because as we start to, again, turn on muscles or free up tension or bring in hydration to the feet, then the old shoes that we've been wearing are not going to suit us anymore. So we need to, if you're not going to invest in a new pair of shoes, which I do recommend my clients to do about this time, about week 3 or 4 of doing the programming and doing the sessions, as you're changing your gait, the way you're walking, the way you're, gliding through your actual steps, right? So as you're changing that, you're ending up, with basically that tension. And then that tension is you're basically, if you wear your old shoes, then you go back into that old footprint. And then going back into the old footprint, when you're trying to create a new way of using your feet and walking through your feet, then it's going to put you in the old pattern. So if you don't want to invest in new shoes, then just get new shoe inserts. I used to always recommend the Spenco inserts that you can get at like Lady Foot Locker. I'm sure you can find a million different ones, but make sure, I'm not a big fan of orthotics because they're basically, again, just giving you a little bit of support, but still ingraining the old pattern. So the reason why I like the Spenco ones is because it has a little kind of jelly thickness around your arch. So it's giving you the support, but not like forcing it up. Like orthotics can be really hard and dense. And so it doesn't give you the malleability in your feet. So highly recommend getting a new pair of shoe inserts. Again, Spenco is a brand that they had at Lady Foot Locker over the years. You can find something like that anywhere in any kind of, if you go into any, like athletic shoe store or online, you can definitely find something that will suit. And so as far as the athletic shoes, the sandals, I would say it's harder to get an insert in your sandals. So you probably want to invest in a nice pair of sandals. Like, a lot of my clients like to wear Birkenstocks because they have a really nice support for the shape of the feet. And that can be really helpful too. And then as far as sandals in general, I know they're not necessarily the best support for our feet, but they do look pretty too. So, when you're not in your sandals, just walk around a little bit barefoot, go stand in the grass or, of course, in the sand or wherever you can to really kind of feel your feet, activate your feet and all of those things. So but I love that question. Thank you for bringing that up. So good. Okay. Then the next question is, do we know if the magnesium that Kimberly Snyder sells is just as good, or does it have to be a powder? You know what? There are so many different magnesiums out there right now. I haven't tried hers yet. I do love her digestive enzymes. They're amazing. I love her. And I'm sure her magnesium, because of her integrity, is probably phenomenal. But I am a bigger fan of a powder. So I'm actually like not a huge fan of taking a lot of pills. So I prefer to do the powder. That's just I feel like it's more, or I know it's scientifically more bioavailable when it's a powder form because your body doesn't have to break down that outer layer to, absorb the nutrients. So that's what I would say about that. And then there are a lot of different magnesiums out there. We're actually, I think you guys know, I've told you, but we're creating a magnesium collagen supplement that will be coming soon, very soon. And we've actually been trying out all the different types of magnesium. And it's amazing how many different ones and how like bioavailable, but also like hyper potent and efficient some of them are. Like, it's amazing how many different levels there are. So that will be coming soon to you guys. I'm excited for you to try that out. It's the Sleeping Beauty Dust that you can take before bed. And it's just one powder that is a beautiful blend. And so you don't have to take a bunch of different things. You can just take one and get the best sleep of your life. It's phenomenal. Our whole team has been actually taking it. So I can't wait to share it with you guys. Okay, cool. So here's a few Nourish questions. I would love to get a better sense of the tweak in the Nourish pillar starting this week. Are we just reintroducing good carbs like brown rice and sweet potatoes and all else remains the same? Okay, this is a good question. So a lot of people have asked this through, the years of us doing this program. So what I would say is essentially we gave you the 3 weeks just to really, again, reinstill new patterns, try new recipes, alchemize our recipes and make them your own. And we wanted to give you guys the knowledge of how to eat. Also, in the Align Life Studio meal guides, we talk about when to eat, sort of the best way to eat for women as far as like doing a female version of intermittent fasting, which is eating more food in the earlier parts of the day, right? In the yang part of the day, and when the sun is out with the circadian rhythms, getting the energy lifted. And then of course, eating less in the evening and then stopping eating by like 7 p.m. So if you're wanting to learn more about, how we do the intuitive Align Life eating, the Nourish pillar, check out those Align Life, we call them meal guides. So it's basically suggested ideal meal guides. So check those out. There's a ton of recipes in there as well. If you're like, oh, I need some new recipes, there's a number of them. And if you have the app, you can, just pick out, any of them. We've been doing the meal guides now for quite a few months. I think it's been almost a year actually. So there's a lot of new recipes in there, and we're going to share about those too as well inside the collective. So we will get you guys some more resources. But as far as, reintroducing carbs and that type of thing, obviously you want to kind of stick to the pillars of the Fascia Foods meal plan and the meal guide. But you don't want to be too rigid. So I love the 80-20 rule, where you're like good 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time you're able to kind of, let loose a little bit. Or if you're feeling like, oh, that might be too much, you could go 90 and 10%. But always give yourself a little bit of, breathing room, because the idea is to not be so controlled and to be more flexible and not be so rigid. So we're trying to release the rigidity in our physical body, which of course we want to release the rigidity in our minds as well, in our emotional self and the way we eat. So, of course we want to eat mostly plant-based with some proteins, depending on what kind of food you like to eat or choose to eat. There's a lot of different options, but just being flexible with yourself. I mean, I try my best not to eat, like the white bread from the store, because I feel like it's just toxic. But every once in a while when we're traveling and it's like, that's the only thing there is, then I might have a little bit of that bread, which I try to avoid most of the time. But, I think you just have to be a little bit flexible in life, or else that rigidity and that control will show up in other ways. And it's just not the way we want to teach ourselves to be intuitive and to be grounded and to be calm, because we can become obsessed. So we don't want that. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, I lost myself here. Okay. I'm hoping that you ladies might be able to help me. I think I'm suffering from fatty liver disease, as I have a constant pain under the right rib cage and have a round belly bloating. I have read that milk thistle and choline supplement help. Do you have any insights? Well, I would say 100% get checked out by your doctor. Maybe talk to an acupuncturist, or again, an osteopath. They can be phenomenal at getting to the root issues rather than giving you a Band-Aid or, giving you some sort of, pharmaceutical drug or something to fix things. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on this to understand it a little more. And I'll probably send you a DM to find out a little bit more about what's going on. And of course, if the pain under the right rib cage could definitely be an organ issue, you want to make sure you reduce inflammation, which is obviously what we're doing in this course, and the way you're eating as well. There are some specific herbs that can be helpful, and all of that. So I will give you more information on that when I look that up a little more and do a little more research. Cool, you guys. Okay. Oh, there was another question. Let me pull this up. Oh, any suggestions how to proceed if you get vertigo? So vertigo can happen sometimes when we go upside down. Again, it has to do with stuff going on in our brain, inside of our ears. I've seen a lot of people get beneficial results from doing acupuncture with vertigo issues. Usually, again, just like anything, it's a sign from our bodies that something is out of balance. So looking at it as a way to maybe seek some more professional advice. We want to become our own healer and all of those things too, but we also sometimes we need a little bit of help from the outside as well. So I would say it's something to look into, and again, we want to get to the root of it rather than trying to put a Band-Aid on it or fix it. And so getting to the root of it as soon as you can, and then going back to your regular routines is the way to go for sure. Okay, so here we go. Oh, yay, you guys. So we have 2 spot prizes today. Congratulations to Joanne Green. Congratulations for continually supporting our tribe, offering advice, and posting inspiration. Also, a breakthrough with her feet using the infinity roll and encouraged her guy to try out rolling too. You've been super open and vulnerable, and we're really grateful for your positivity and also just sharing your story and inspiring more people to look after themselves too. It's so good. So you're winning the Power Source book and the Body Sphere. You might already have it. If you already have it, then make sure you gift it to a friend, because I'm so excited for you guys to go deeper with that book, with my book. So good. All right. And then we also have, oh yeah, this is exciting. Another week 4 spot prize. We're proud to partner with, I'm not sure how to say this, but it's this amazing olive oil by Cured. I think it's Cured. Oh, Cured. Sorry, Cured. That's how you say it. It's right here. I'm sorry, you guys. So it's Cured, but with a Kyoord. So it's an amazing olive oil. We just started using it. It is phenomenal. And as you know, we use olive oil in so many of the recipes. But this olive oil is high phenolic olive oil crafted in a local farm on the Greek island of Corfu. It boosts 5 times more polyphenols than an average extra virgin olive oil. So it helps improve gut health, prevents skin aging, which we love, and protects against diseases, inflammation, cancer, and support. So it's a top-notch fascia food. I'm pretty much obsessed with olive oil. We're putting it in the body oil we're coming out with as well. So you guys are going to love that. So, oh yeah, here's another exciting thing. Next week, we have a special guest joining us, and it is a secret. We will reveal more during the week, and watch out on social for an IG live. Hopefully, we're going to probably do that after we do the live in the collective, because we want to keep it a secret for you guys, just to give you guys something special and exciting. But I will say that this person is one of the most beautiful humans on the planet. She has the most amazing energy. I've known her for years, and I'm just really excited to bring her into our ethos and share her incredible wisdom. She's been doing this for a really long time, and she brings so many aspects to healing from the inside out, and also to beauty. So bridging sort of that spirituality to beauty, which is really cool. I think you guys are going to love it. So I cannot wait to share our guests with you next week. And I think that's everything today, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy this week. And remember, I know it's a little bit funny when you're starting to kind of integrate into a little bit more of a normal way of eating. But remember, the idea of the last 21 days to really was to give you knowledge and empower you with the right information to understand how your body works, to start tuning in, to realize that we have all of these tools when we start to feel, that stress eating, or maybe the sugar craving, when it's usually like a stress craving, like the things that we can do instead of eating, or, eating too much or eating too many. Like, it's okay to have a little piece of chocolate, that's a good thing when we're feeling a little hormonal or whatnot. It's really just, we don't want to eat a whole bag of cookies or a whole bag of chips. Then that will sabotage us. So remember, we have all these amazing tools. I just did a post on Instagram about the tools you can do when you're fasting. Like, you can sip herbal teas, you can sip bone broth. I love sipping pickle juice. It's kind of a fun thing because it's salty and savory, and it kind of sort of fills you up. And try to get the pickle juice that's not, like, you kind of want the one with the real fermented pickles in it. So you do kind of need to have discernment on which pickle juice you get. And if you can look online, we actually have a few brands that I found a while back, which I can share. Those are great. And what else? So you can do, well, you can check out the post too, but there's, you could do like ginger tea if you're feeling like, oh, I just feel so starving. Of course you can eat. But the other things that I was going to mention too are you can have like a radish. Radishes make you feel fuller longer. And they really help with your digestion and sort of make you feel like satiated. And then celery is a good one for that. And then the other thing is you could cut off a piece of apple too, because apple has pectin in it, which decreases your hunger hormones. So if you're really starving, of course, eat. Sometimes I'll do like in the morning, I'll have like before I do my workout, I'll have like a few walnuts with my coffee. And then I'll go do my workout and my sauna. And then I'll have my smoothie or my avo toast or whatever in later in the morning too. And then have a big dinner and then have a big lunch and then have a nice light dinner. And then hopefully stop eating at like 7 p.m. Of course, that doesn't happen every night, but for the most part, again, the 80-20 rule or the 90-10 rules is the way to do it. So be patient with yourself, be loving. Remember, use your affirmations. I love that one. I effortlessly and gracefully live in the body of my dreams, or every little cell in my body as well. So hopefully that helps you guys. Happy week 4. And I will see you next week for week 5. Okay, hang in there. Ciao. Bye. See you soon.